So good morning, good afternoon,
Perfect.
buenos dias. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. I'm here with Mitch from the Reid Creek Lodge in Wyoming, and I think he has a beautiful presentation to do. I had the chance to be there in August, and it's such a special place. So, Mitch, the screen is yours.
Thank you, ma'am. Hi, everyone. I'm Mitch McElwain. I'm the head of hospitality here at the Wagon Hound Land and Livestock, and I manage this beautiful, beautiful property, Reid Creek Lodge. So I'll talk a little bit about kind of our history and background. So Wagon Hound Land and Livestock is a working commercial cattle ranch. It's a family tradition of the ownership. Art Nicholas purchased the original piece of Wagon Hound land in 1999, and he came from ranchers out in Nebraska, and he found his way to the Navy, and then found that he had a knack for making money, and eventually purchased the original piece of Wagon Hound Land and Livestock, which is a historic brand. It's been around since the 1800s. So he bought that initial piece and began building to what we currently have, which is over 300,000 acres of landscape. Wyoming and where we're located is historic, and it is one of my favorite parts. I mean, really, there's so many favorite parts I have about this landscape, but you go out into the landscape, the wilderness, and you find old remnants of people that lived and worked this land before us. And it's a kind of a testament to the hardiness of the Wyoming people and our culture, but it also is a testament to nature. Because as we go out there, nature is reclaiming these old homesteads and old forestry cabins and stuff like that. And it's really provides a really unique and powerful connection to the landscape right here in the U.S. So with being a commercial cattle ranch, everything that we do goes into our cattle operation. We raise red Angus cattle. We have about 5,000 head out on the ranch and another 5,000 down at our feedlot. We work the cattle in traditional ways. So a lot of modern commercial farming ranching is utilizing new technology, like four-wheelers and mechanized means of managing the herd. Well, our cowboys are still managing the herd largely from horseback. And that is just the way that we like to do business. We like to uphold the Western traditions. And so we have our horse division that complements the cattle division. We're also able to sell some of our horses. They do very well in the show arenas and competitive arenas, but they are bred for our cattle, for our cowboys to work our cattle. And then we have a farming division that provides all of the feed for all of the livestock, plus a little extra to sell commercially. We have an outfitting division that helps us manage the wildlife on the ranch. And then we have our division, Reid Creek Lodge. The Wagon Hound brand is synonymous with excellence, and that's at the foundation of our guest program at Reid Creek Lodge. We like to lead with the kind of our authentic traditional cowboy culture while providing a very high-end luxury experience. So when I'm talking about a luxury experience, you may look at the interior of our lodge here, and it does have a rustic aesthetic. So you're not going to see the travertine. You're not going to see tapestries hanging everywhere. But what you will find in the lodge is comfortable connection. We have 7 ensuite bedrooms. We have an extra full bathroom and 2 powder rooms in the lodge. We have enough bed space, and I'll kind of show you guys a little bit later how our room arrangements are broken out so you can understand it a little bit better. But we have 3 bedrooms that have a single bed in them. And then the other bedrooms have multiple beds. And like I say, that's I'll go over that in just a little bit. But that's how we're able to get up to 22 guests. Now, this presentation has 22 guests. You'll see on our rate sheet that we cap it out at 20. So if we do make it up to 22 guests, it's kind of case by case. We have our boundaries, but we are flexible to accommodate however we can. So this full complement of guests up to 20 would be mixed stages. And then we would host an all adult group of up to 12. Again, we have a little bit of flexibility there, but 12 kind of helps us out logistically, make sure everyone has their own bedroom, and kind of helps with transportation around the ranch. Let me back up here. So you'll notice that that we've got food, we've got beverages, everything is included in our nightly rate. Okay. Your clients are going to show up and we're going to take care of their entire experience. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks, beverages, alcoholic and non-alcoholic. If any guest wants to elevate their experience, we will certainly purchase that premium liquor or whatever it might be, and we pass the cost directly through. We're not trying to gouge clients for any upgrades. We typically just pass the cost through and make it happen for them. Our breakfast chef and our lead chef are going to provide, honestly, more food than the group can consume, and we like it that way. We like a bountiful presentation of upscale, authentic ranch cuisine. So what does that mean? Well, we're going to have some shrimp dinners and maybe some fish dinners, but we're also going to have burgers and brats. We're going to have elk steak. We might have buffalo sausage. We're really trying to use our food and beverage to help increase that connection of the guests. So then we get to what we're here for, what the guests come for, which is really a connection to nature and the group of people that they're with. All of our activities are really, in the grand scheme, just ways to get out on the ranch and explore this wild landscape and not see anyone else. No other guests. You're not competing for guided activities. It is all yours. And we help with the knowledge of the land and what we can do, and our knowledge of the weather and time frames and travel and all that stuff. We're going to help each guest create their own unique personal experience that they can take away and say, gosh, this was a one of a kind experience. And I also got this deep, rich connection with my family or my friends or my colleagues. So we have fishing, we have paddle boarding. I do like to tell this to everyone. No one's going to book a fishing trip at Reid Creek Lodge. We have great fishing. You can catch tons of trout, but it is not the river runs through it sort of fly fishing experience. It's really, if someone is a fisherman, we're going to scratch that itch. We're gonna get fish on the end of their line, and they're going to certainly have fun. But this is not really a fishing lodge. We have things like e-bikes that help folks get out and explore around. They're really fun, also a little dangerous, but we mitigate all those dangers. We send folks out with a guide so no one gets lost. Everyone always has food and beverage. We really work hard to take care of the guests. So we have a number of beautiful facilities on our ranch, one of those being the arena. And with being a notable horse breeder, oftentimes our clients, our reputation precedes us, and our clients know our wagon hound horses. And so they want to come down and they want to ride as much as possible. Well, we love that. We love that. I think it's the absolute best way to get out, get up in the mountains, see wildlife, um, just be disconnected from our everyday busy lives and enjoy nature. But we start off in this magnificent arena facility. It's my background here. It is one of the largest arenas that I've ever seen, and most of my guests have ever seen. And so what this does is it provides us an opportunity for the guests to get familiar with the horses. If we have a guest that doesn't have a lot of horseback experience, or they're under the age of 11, riding in the arena allows them the freedom to explore the horse in a very safe and controlled environment, so they can develop that horse relationship and kind of join the rest of the group in their enjoyment of horses, or just experience what it is to ride horseback. We have, again, we've got a number of ways to explore nature, and one of my personal favorites is our tent camp, Spring Creek Tent Camp. And this is not a sub-Saharan Africa en-suite tent camp just yet. Right now, we're just these canvas tents. They are very comfortable, very weatherproof, very warm. We've got beds that go inside there with sheets and comforters, and we really try to make it I call it glamping light experience. It really is, it's the essence of camping. It's the essence of roughing it. Some guests really don't like that experience, and they don't want to endure it through the night, but we still make this a destination. It's a wonderful place to explore out of. There's wonderful exfoliated granite boulders that you can hike up in even flip-flops with a child on your back and see incredible views. Or you can go out on the rowboat and paddle and fish. We oftentimes will ride our horses into camp. It really is a magical experience, whether or not you camp. So I talked about riding in the arena. Our horseback riding outside is a very unique experience. Our horses are not nose to tail, broke down horses that follow each other without any spirit. That's not to say that our horses are spirited and dangerous. We pull the best of the best out of our actual cowboy string to come and take our guests around the ranch. Our horses are familiar with the terrain. They ride it every day. And when it comes time to take care of our guest string does the best job. So when we are riding nose to tail, they provide a very comfortable ride. But if we're out in the open, in a nice pasture, sometimes our guides will encourage the guests to get up to a lope. And they know the safe places to do that. And if the guest wants to make that happen, well, we want them to do that. We want them to have that experience. And if a guest doesn't want to do that, our horses are going to be just fine not doing that as well. So I talked a little bit about hiking. The hiking here is both amazing and it can kind of be a little intimidating. We don't have an extensive network of meticulously groomed trails like you would find at a national park. What we do have is a national park-like setting that you don't have to stay on trails. We have to stay on trails at national parks because there's, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of visitors annually, and they can provide or they can damage the land significantly. Well, we're hosting one guest group at a time of 20 or less individuals. And so I encourage folks to get out, get off of a trail like you see down here, and go up and see what's in this rock pile. See if you can climb up on top of this rock. There might be a shed horn hiding up there. There are so many things to see and touch and smell and feel and explore that no one ends up walking away having any feelings of missing out. This just illustrates Saddleback Reservoir, another one of our beautiful locations for guests to go down and spend a day. You know, we could even do a small breakout group. Let's say we've got a multi-generational family and grandpa and grandma are celebrating their anniversary and they would like to have one night where it's just them. Well, we can do something down here at the Saddleback Reservoir cabin for a night just for those two, kind of a breakout deal, and make that really special for them. So the experience that we're providing is a very nature heavy, very getting outside and exploring and you know, maybe roughing it a little bit, getting some dust on us, getting dirty, maybe getting some scrapes from the little kids out exploring around. But then the last night that folks are here, we like to show them another one of our beautiful facilities. And the picture that we're looking at right now is what we call our headquarters lodge. This is at its core a 6-stall horse barn. This horse barn has never seen a horse. On one end is a beautiful art collection and bar and dining area and commercial kitchen. On the other end is a collection of replica wagons that are meticulously crafted and really wonderful. And then in between that is filling up each stall is our game room, a lounge, another bar that was brought in from Nebraska. It's an 1880s bar original. We have a mechanical bull and a game room with shuffleboard and air hockey and a shooting game and basketball and a racing game. And we saved this for the last night, especially with the kids groups, but even with the adult groups, because if we brought people here on night one, they would never want to go anywhere else. And we have such a beautiful landscape to show off that we usually don't like to unveil this jewel too early. But we will bring folks, we'll get them on a wagon that's pulled by our team of Belgian draft horses. We'll take them down to along our wagon trail down to a picnic shelter that's creekside where we'll play horseshoes and cornhole and have appetizers and cocktails. We'll come back, we'll enter the lodge and have just a magical evening that really caps off this incredible stay that the guests have. And then the following morning, we may get into an activity before people depart, depending on how they feel. Some folks like to pack up. Some folks like to get into a horseback ride. So we'll make that last morning there with the guests are with us very special and send them off properly. So I'm going to switch to a different.
Thank you very much, Mitch, while you're doing this. I just wanted to say that you're totally right with this, the Wagon Lounge headquarters. When we went to visit, you said, do we have lunch before or we do it after? And we said, let's have lunch. And then we spent hours playing and we didn't want to go anywhere else after. We were all happy to stay. And I know you said you don't want to show picture of the inside, and the reason why, because you want the guests to be so surprised. So I know your trick, but it's amazing.
I do like to keep it you know, not to be secretive or anything about it, but really it's the surprise. I mean, how many surprises does anyone really get in life anymore? And even though our pictures, and I can promise you this, I look at it every day, and this is one of the reasons, Dominique, I don't send out a lot of pictures of these beautiful landscapes that I see. It's just because when I take that image and then I look at it on my phone, it is not even comparable to what I'm seeing in real life. And I really think that that's the magic of what we provide. And so I promised I'd talk about the lodge layout a little bit. So it's an 8,000 square foot log cabin, family style kitchen. We're dining together. The chefs are cooking right in front of everyone. We're always interacting with the guests. The staff that I am hand selecting is the absolute best that I can find, that I know will provide the level of care and service and authenticity that I would with any guest interaction. So on our main floor, we've got our family kitchen. The Wagon Hound room is our largest room. It's got a king bed, 2 bunk beds, and 1 day bed. So I've written the occupancy out here so you can see how we come up with 22 guests maximum. Also on this floor are ADA accessible bedrooms. So the Bear and Buffalo each have 2 beds in them. The Buffalo will be, this queen bed is going to be replaced with a king bed next year. So this will actually have a king bed and 1 day bed. Still same occupancy count, but you will have a larger bed in there. Upstairs is where we have 2 of our single bed rooms. And one of these will be replaced with a king bed. The other one will be a queen bed. And then downstairs, we've got our pronghorn, which is 2 queen beds, and then our cowboy room, which is our 3rd single bed. And so this can always be a little bit awkward for our guests when they show up. It's unfamiliar to a lot of us. Usually you check in and you're handed a key to your room. Our rooms, they don't lock from the outside. We don't have keys. They do lock from the inside for privacy, of course, but the guests show up and hopefully they have an idea of kind of the lodge layout. And so they've identified that at least everyone has a place to lay their head. And then we kind of just show everyone around. We do a tour of the lodge and let everyone kind of pick out what room is going to work functionally the best. Sometimes the grandkids want to stay in the Wagon Hound room with grandpa and grandma, and that lets mom and dad go and have this private room upstairs to themselves. Or maybe they've got a toddler that they kind of want to keep separate from the rest of the group. And we're able to kind of do that right when folks walk in the door. We take their bags to their rooms and really make it a special experience. So here we're identifying specifically what the price includes and what it does not include. So 3 meals daily prepared by our private chefs, daily snacks, beverages, house wines and beers, our hosted activities and activity guides. So safety is our #1 concern when the guests show up and when they're on the property. So we want to create as many unique experiences that we can. And so getting a guide to go with a small group of individuals is an almost instantaneous process. We're not having to get on a schedule or anything like that. We've got daily housekeeping. I'm going to create an itinerary that's based on the group's preferences. Hopefully, I'm able to collect all of the information that I need ahead of time so that the experience that they have there is very smooth and without wrinkles, and we can seamlessly transition and accommodate for everyone's wants and needs. Our price does not include this 6% state and local tax. So you're going to see when you look at our invoice, when you book for us, you're going to send out an invoice for payment. You're going to see a really, really low tax rate. That's just how we calculate our taxes from the services that we provide to compensate the state of Wyoming. So our tax is really incredibly low. It's $120 a night all in. So just a heads up when you see that. So gratuity is always a sticking point for guests, and we don't want to we want to mitigate and minimize the awkward situation. So we include a 12% service charge so that your client doesn't have to worry about gratuity. It's already taken care of. If they want to bring extra gratuity, that's on them. It really is all taken care of. We don't want our guests to worry about bringing wads of cash to pay the staff out or anything like that. We just kind of want this seamless transition. So that special request alcohol, I've already kind of talked about that. We'll pass through that cost to acquire that. Massage and yoga, I can set up massage services for a premium. I don't have a masseuse on staff. I have a very highly qualified person that can come in, but it's fairly expensive. She does have a minimum amount of massages that she kind of needs per day. But again, I like to be transparent about the costs and all that stuff. So as your clients want those services, I'm happy to go through them. Our excursion enhancements, this is kind of an unbounded offer. I have a number of providers that can do various things. I've got a hat maker. I've got curators from the traditional cowboy artists of America and the Western Heritage Museum that can come and visit. I can do I can have a guest speaker come down. I can hire a band or a musician, any number of enhancements that the guests might want above and beyond what's already included, which I promise is well worth the price and will be filled with enjoyment and entertainment. But if we want to level that up a little bit, we'll certainly do whatever we can. And then airport transfer and rental vehicles not included. So getting to the lodge is done a few ways. You can drive to the lodge. You can fly into Denver and drive to the lodge. That's about a 3.5-hour drive from Denver to the lodge. You can take a commuter plane from Casper, rent a car in Casper and drive from Casper. That's about an hour and 20 minutes from the lodge. Or you can fly in privately to the airport in the nearby town of Douglas. It's going to be about a 45-minute drive. And kind of how the guests get from those locations to the lodge, it really depends on the amount of guests and the specific situation. But I am happy to facilitate the best way to do that so that the guests can get here with the least amount of hassle. All right, I did go over a little bit. I tried to stick it to 30 minutes, Dominique. Last thing I want to talk about is our 2024 rate. So our season dates are June 1st to August 30th. I do have occasional availability. This is very rare, kind of case by case basis. It never hurts to ask, but it is, these expansions are never really guaranteed. So up to 14 adults, we got $16,000 per night. Up to 20 adults and children, $16,000 per night. So that's kind of the last bit of information. Dominique, did I miss anything?
No, I think we are good because you spoke about the arrival. I was the transfer from Casper. I drove from Denver. The road is so beautiful that it was great. And I know you can easily pick up people in Casper. Huh? Jason, you're mentioning you want to say if it's an exclusive use. So yes, it is. But you're wondering if there will be time or weeks where a couple could join in by themselves. But I think as long as they pay $16,000, but it's they won't be with any other guest. Huh? And it's only open from June.
That's correct. That's correct.
30th, huh? So it's not like we have a long period to sell this. So that's why you can't have special week in the year. Huh? Maybe one day, Mitch, we will have a little longer time to sell. But for the moment, that's what you're offering. So I don't see any other question. Huh?
We